Hello, sir. Why the long face?
I'm looking for Silent Hill. I'm kind of lost.
We're the Smiling Friends. We can help you.
Okay, let's go.
You had to do it, man. It's okay.
No! Oh my God!
Whoa.
If you do that again, I'm gonna punch you. I'm not kidding.
Look, Pim, I know it's our job to help this guy and everything, but I think this guy's a lost cause. Why don't we just cut our losses and get out of here?
Oh, come on. That's nonsense, Charlie.
I think the biggest surprises are behind. Dude, I warned you. I said I was gonna do that if you did that again.
Are you alright?
I think he's possessed, man, but don't worry. My uncle taught me exactly what to do in a situation like this. The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ!
Fart face!
God, it's not coming off! Ah! Oh my God, what the fuck? Our Father who art in
James. Oh, James.
Charlie, this is a fake knife.
What?
Yeah, it's one of those plastic knives that retract, see?
Oh, my God.
It's a gag knife.
Okay, well, let's go back to the office. We just need you to sign some paperwork that says we failed to make you smile, and then you can, do what you gotta do and all that.
Okay.
Howdy, y'all. So, back again with another episode of Triple B. And as we're going into these more occultic, haunting, demonic type episodes, there's something that we need to go a little bit further into. I've been mentioning these dreams since probably a couple months into the podcast, way before I started doing all the hippy-dippy demonic haunting shit, because I would have these dreams, and dreams are representative of our psychology, of our psyche. It brings forth things from our internal subconscious that are gifted to us then to interpret. But I have been going to a world, a city, a place. If I were to have a dream of me riding a magical pink unicorn, hopping through the cosmos, and it's some goofy, regular bullshit conundrum of a dream, then I will forget about it within 5 seconds of waking up. It's not important to me. I could chronicle borderline the entire journeys that I have had in this world, this astral realm, since I was a little kid. Now, this isn't something that I'm pulling out of my ass or anything like that. This is a real phenomena. Most of you may be familiar with I think it was called the Backrooms. Literally, standard title, Backrooms, based off of the liminal backroom YouTube videos, Reddit lore, Mallwave. You go to these rooms, and then it's like you're either in a mall or you're in a building with all these different white hallways, white gray carpets, yellowish hue. It's an endless maze. For me, it personally reminds me of Emmanuel Baptist Church when I was growing up. There would be times I would have access to the church. One of my favorite things to do growing up was just to break into places that I had no place being in. Houses that were for sale that people hadn't lived in for a while. Breaking into the old abandoned Catholic hospitals, the video I just posted. There's just something exciting to me about being in a place that I shouldn't be and just experiencing the essence of that place by myself. And that's what the liminal spaces are. Liminality being I'm going to butcher the definition of this, but it's when death and life. You ever been in a room, by yourself, kind of like I've just been explaining, and you feel like you're being watched? You feel like there's a weight. You're alone. There shouldn't be any essence there, but you just feel that something is there with you. That's liminality. It's being at a convergence in time and space where death and life kind of meet. It's a beautiful thing. I think it's beautiful. It'll never cease to be an eerie feeling, but I love these spaces. I can feel these spaces. I engage myself very heavily in these spaces. I want to talk to these beings. I try to send my voice out and ask questions. And in the past, they haven't been the greatest questions. Part of me thinks it'd be fun to go back into these old spaces and try something new, but a guy like me, I never know when I'm letting the devil in. So, all I can say is, growing up, there's a lot of special places that left a psychological imprint. So I get a little older. I've been going to this dream world. Imagine Silent Hill. When I go to sleep tonight, I will probably go to another world. It's like Narnia. Spend hours and hours, days there, and I'll wake up 7-8 hours later. I'm exhausted. It's like I haven't slept. It's a burden. This town that I go to is a combination of most all towns that I've ever lived in. There was a time where I described it in AI, and it pumped out an image that looked exactly like the place I went. And I got really paranoid about that. I'm like, why is this targeting my dreams, my psyche, how does it know? How does it know? And a little further down the road, I can realize it's because a lot of other people are experiencing this too. I have had an exorcism, a deliverance prayer. This deliverance came through Vicki Joy Anderson, somebody who I've posted a couple clips about. If you don't know who I'm talking about, go and look at my podcast with her. She is phenomenal. And the podcast that got me to reach out to her was one with this guy named Tony in the Confessionals podcast. And it had to do with dream warfare. Now, I may just upload the entire podcast. I don't give a fuck about doing stolen content. If anybody reach out to me and request to take something down, which people I've done before, I'll take it down. If it ain't mine, I got no right to be like, no, I have the right to, but I reached out to her because of this podcast, because I've been having these dreams and I'm going to this place. And as I'm watching what she's saying, she's explaining everything that I'm experiencing. Because it's not just that I'm going to these dreams, right? It's that when I wake up, these dreams have predicted the next day. Or they have to do with my algorithms. A couple of examples. In one dream, I saw a woman in white in a black hat with long black gloves. And she was being grabbed by this muscular stranger, this thuggish type guy, wife beater, and all this shit. And he's holding her. But the cliffside, right? And I come up and I'm like, hey. And he just looks at me and he's just like, right off the cliff. I wake up the next day. My YouTube feed is littered with women being tossed off a cliff. I will have dreams of car wrecks. I will wake up, go to take a shit 5 minutes later, flipping through my phone, That's what people do when they get on the toilet when they wake up first thing in the morning. And car wrecks. Typically depicting people who look very much like what I was seeing in my dreams. The dream world is so specific that it is entirely mappable. I myself have not created a map for it, but I'm going to provide a video at the end of this that she's going to show you a map, and this is where I go every fucking night. People call it MALLWORLD, and I think that's the stupidest fucking name. Mostly because I haven't been to the mall since I was 7 or 8. I can remember the dreams where I've been in the mall very specifically because, again, I have these dreams categorized, databased. I haven't been to the mall in a very long time. Maybe that means I've surpassed that algorithm, but once you get out of the mall's like a starting point, right? Then it becomes a city. Then it becomes a town. Then you're going to water parks, amusement parks. There's a tsunami. You know, there's always, it's a ever-looming feeling of apocalypse. Anytime I'm there, something is about to come in and wipe everything out. Typically a flood. I've been there on the coast in these streams where the water is receding. And as the waves pull back, I can see hidden cities underneath the coast. I've been in these dreams and I've walked in on meetings that I should not have been a part of. I've been chased through parking lots. I have gone to prison on multiple occasions. The best way to describe these dreams is when I'm experiencing these dreams, it's a dark version of me. In this life, I would never be a murderer, a rapist, a pedophile, a thief, any of this shit. When I go to these dreams, whoever the fuck I'm viewing these dreams through, he's borderline the devil. And a lot of these times, I'm experiencing these crimes and I'm running away. I'm hiding. And there's these figures always trying to catch me. And it becomes so intense that I'll literally, like, a lot of it has to do with murder. So there's been times the dreams are so intense, so vivid, I wake up and it will literally take me a few minutes to be like, holy shit, they caught me. I killed him. And I just have to sit there and myself, like, I've never killed anybody. As my channel would suggest, I've killed a dog at most. But I've never killed another human being, or what I hope to. So whoever this version of me is that exists in these dreams, it's a very dark version of me. It is the version of me that makes all of the opposite decisions. It's a parallel universe almost. It's very odd. But I've been dealing with these dreams for years and years and years. And one thing that's fucked with me is over the past 2 years as I've been engaging with this podcast, especially since the uninvited guest. If I am to make a decision on the podcast to speak about something specific the night before or the night after, I will be attacked. I will be raped. I will be cut. I will be buried. I will be drowned. And I'll have a flash of things that I'm going to say in the podcast before I'm tortured. One being, there's the video I did about my exorcism. The video was directed towards Larry. And I read from him a copy of, the Jewish holy text. I think I have the book here. Yeah, there it is. I hadn't even decided to read from this yet. There was just a certain message that I needed him to hear. Because as I'm combating these things, as I'm going through this bullshit, it's a battle with my demons, which are also connected to Larry's. To other people in my life, not just Larry. This is spiritual warfare. But I remember the night before, I'm in a prison and I'm feeling shame. And these dark shadow beings, these prisoners, they come in They're grabbing me by the back of my hair, and they're yanking me, and they're pulling me, they're kicking me, they're spitting on me, they're cussing. And all I have with me is this book. And they take it, and they rip it, and they're throwing the pages, and they are fucking, like, they yank me into a stall. They're, like, borderline shoving my fucking head in the toilet, ripping up the book, laughing at me maniacally. And they take me out. One of the beings, like, throws a fucking cup of ice water in my face. It splashes down my mouth, goes down my throat. I'm choking. And it was like they were mocking me for even having considered this idea. And as I read the text the next day, it was just like there was this feeling washing over me of protection. Like, fuck those demons. I'm writing a book right now. I'm going to document a lot of this. I could speak for hours and hours and hours and hours on this, and I probably will give a little bit more time to it. Admittedly, when I'm a little less drunk. But, this world, it's not just me that's going to it. And there's a very significant qualifier that determines who experiences MALLWORLD and who doesn't. I'll have to post this video separately, otherwise this is going to be like an hour and a half video. But there's a program called Gifted and Talented. It's been going on since the 80s, maybe late 70s. When I was in 6th grade, I was put into this program. And we all have the same recollection of memories. We are given a pink tablet, puts in some water, dissolved, becomes pink liquid, you drink it. You're listening to headphones and you're listening to certain beeps. You're raising your hand. Which side is the beep coming from? Can you hear this frequency, this frequency? And then all of a sudden you're in a room in a portable building with paper taped over the windows, no light coming in. You're being given weird puzzles. And as specific as my memory gets, I do not remember my years in Gifted and Talented. The GATE program. Every single person, it seems, who has experienced MALLWORLD, getting them a stupid fucking name, but anybody who's gone to this astral realm and who has experienced the same dreams as me, we were all a part of this program. This program ties back to the CIA, has historical tie-ins to the KGB, and seemingly is an MK Ultra experiment. And I was a part of it. I don't know what that means. I'm not going to pretend to. But a lot of the spiritual phenomena and the dreams that I've been having, it coordinates with a lot of other gifted and talented students. I was not gifted and talented. I was a retard. It was a class for retards with extrasensory perception. Like, you're being treated like you're smart, but I was failing everything. It made no sense. And I think that the American education system experimented on us, and now something is happening. And I don't know what. All I can do is report what happens every fucking time I go to sleep. Because tonight I'm going to go to sleep and I'm going to wake up in a new world. And it may feel like I've spent a day, 2, 3 in there. I may wake up 3, 7 hours later. It's going to be like I haven't slept, but it's going to be like I experienced a lifetime. So that's all I want to say. Y'all have a good day.
MALLWORLD. Have you ever been there? Some start in a mall, others wake up in a school, on an abandoned freeway, deep in a forest, or lost in an underground market. Some are hunting or hiking, some are camping, and some are just wandering. But somehow, it's all part of the same dreamscape, an endless connected world that feels strangely familiar, even if you've never seen it before. People online are waking up from these dreams, realizing they've all been to the same place, a place that shouldn't exist.
Have you heard about MALLWORLD dreams? Why do I ask? Because people are coming together and telling their story about how they're all having the same dreams and waking up in the same places. It's like going to sleep and having a dream and then waking up and saying to yourself, that felt so real. Everyone online is talking about this place called MALLWORLD. Thousands upon thousands of people have claimed to have visited the same place while dreaming. What if this place, hear me out, is not a dream, but just turns out to be a part of a simulation? People have described that in the videos that the escalators in the mall led to nowhere, hallways with no, and also elevators with floors that did not match what they said. People have also claimed to see a playground in their dreams, and also claimed to hear children laughing, but none can be seen. So my question to you is, have you ever experienced this dream of a mall world? Do you think that maybe this is a place where we go to reset our minds, to get our thoughts? Or is it just where we actually live? And when we wake up, we're in the simulation.
If you still believe dreams are just random, meaningless subconscious loops with no real purpose or basis in reality, then buckle up, honey, because the theories we're about to explore might just rattle your world. Or, in the very least, get you to think twice before closing your eyes to go to sleep tonight. I'm Katie, this is Dark Side of the Truth, and if you're new here, we're now friends.
Did we just become best friends? Yup!
Today, we're diving into MALLWORLD. Everybody's experiences, their personal takes, and the creepiness of what might be our conjoined subconscious minds in dreamland.
They live, we sleep, the alarms go off, beep beep. Time to wake up to the deceit. Our whole reality's made up by the elite.
So where did MALLWORLD come from? How did a quote-unquote dream theme go from scattered reports to a full-blown viral phenomenon? The discussion can be traced back to viral forums like the subreddit r/themallworld, where people originally began sharing their eerily similar dream spaces. Originally, the theory wasn't very popular, and initially it didn't gain much traction. That is until early 2024, when something suddenly changed. Out of nowhere, there's a video going viral on TikTok. In this now viral video, a young woman tells her viewers that she's been having the same reoccurring dream for years. So she finally drew a map of the place that she's been seeing in her dreams practically every night when she falls asleep. A place that she has named MALLWORLD.
I dream of MALLWORLD every night, and I made a map. Let me show you guys.
Okay, so this is like the full map. It's not very complete, but we'll start at the mall that's attached to like a hospital and a school and a parking garage. There's also the airport attached to the mall. And then back behind the mall, you have the amusement park, water parks, and like the literal ocean, cliffs. You can see it through the windows. You can see the ocean through the windows of the mall and the hospital. Sometimes you can see this in the background. Then there's the big theater attached to the mall, school. Everyone you've ever met is here in the theater. You have like an underground market, which is different than the mall. It's more like a flea market. There's infinite toilets. Anytime you have to use a restroom, it's like they're broken and they're all connected together. Next to the parking garage is like a really dangerous playground. And then you come to like the fairgrounds, the outdoor markets. There's like cabins. And then over here is like forest. And then outdoor concert and festival is going on. So this is like kind of grungy camping situation, campsites. Then we have the big non-functional highway that's kind of linking things together. It has abandoned cars on it. You have like walking caravans. You got people camping out. So this is part 2 of explaining MALLWORLD, the dream world I go to every night. And you guys can choose to believe me or not, but I've actually never been on the Reddit or seen anybody else's map of MALLWORLD. I didn't know that other people experienced this until very recently, and I have journals going back years and years talking about this place I go to. So in the last video, we talked about the mall, and it's connected to the hospital, the school, and the airport. The ocean is behind this area because you can see the ocean outside of the mall. There's also cliffs onto the ocean. So like you can be up here, but you can't really get down there to the beach. The beach is like over here, kind of closer to where the cabins are and the outdoor market. So if you're at the cabins, you can probably make your way to the beach. And if you're at the airport, it's going to be cliffs over here. And then there's a huge amusement park, kind of like, honestly, the amusement park's in the background of the whole thing. And there's a water park connected to it. Then if you come over here, you have like long winding roads with like warehouses. If you go off of the ledge, then there'll be another platform of reality that you can just go onto. There's mobile park homes, and then there's like neighborhoods, like city neighborhoods close to the buildings. There's like a bunch of downtown buildings, offices in the top buildings. There's like really important meetings up here. There's fancy parties. There's like a room of pools. It's just like pool rooms all up here. And sometimes I am staying at the hotel. Sometimes I have an apartment that's really close to downtown. I have like a downtown apartment. I also have a suburb house that I live in, and there's like green belt. There's a bunch of weird roads. There's an antique store and the thrift store. I can talk about these things for days. The thrift store, I can go into detail about what it looks like in there. Part 3 of explaining my map of Mall World. Let's get into it. Okay, so the mall's over here next to the airport, hospital, and school. It's kind of all one building. Then we have the amusement park that's running all throughout. The hotel has a fancy party happening in the top, and sometimes you're invited, sometimes you're not. You just see it happening, people with like really fancy clothes. There's an important meeting happening at the top of the office building, and it's like a crazy view. Like you can see out like this, like, and you're standing in it. That's what it looks like. And then you can see like the whole city down there. Okay, then there's downtown. The apartments are down here. Then the antique store and the thrift store. But I want to talk more about the pool rooms, because yes, sometimes they're inside pools and sometimes they're outside pools. Sometimes each patio of the hotel, like if you're at a fancy spot in this fancy hotel, because there's also like motels over here. There's some outdoor, let's see if it's like campsites, fairground, mountains. This is like where a motel would be. And this is not a motel. This is a hotel, and it's very fancy. Sometimes there's like rooms, and they have like infinity pools off the rooms. And sometimes it's like you go to the top floor and there'll be like a pool on the roof, and sometimes it's indoor. Sometimes it's an indoor pool, sometimes it's an outdoor pool. Either way, it's kind of like dreamlike. It doesn't really look like how a pool would look in real life, because it's kind of like defying the laws of physics somehow. If you need to use the phone, usually if you don't have a cell phone, you have to get to the lobby of the hotel or an office. Sometimes there's fast foods that also, it's like fast food, also like a clinic. So where do you go into like McDonald's, and then they have people in the back of the McDonald's like hooked up to machines. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. Let's talk about Mall World bathrooms, okay? So anytime that you're in Mall World in a dream, especially when you're in the mall and the hospital, if you try to use the bathroom, it's gonna be an infinite toilet. And a lot of people were like, yes, I have seen the infinite toilet. This is what it looks like to me. So the bathrooms are like, some of them are like conjoined toilets. They're all crazy, spilling out. There's a lot of toilets. Like if you go farther back this way, it's just like forever toilets. There's tiny little stalls, and they're just all disgusting. If you look in the mirror, your face and like your hair will change, like things about your expression, like things about you will change if you look in the mirrors. Sometimes you'll find a clean toilet, but that'll be the one with no doors. The floor also is like disgusting and wet. There's like some toilets that I'm not athletic or coordinated enough to scale. You can't find your locker. It's like a locker room, and there's more lockers going this way. If you go into the door, then you'll go into like either the theater or the backstage of the theater or the gym. Like it's all kind of back there in that area. And then there's also showers, like locker room type showers, and some of them look like this, some of them look like this, some of them are just like defying laws of physics and gravity, like they're just shooting out and being a little bit crazy. But yeah, the bathroom situation, if you have to pee in Mall World, good luck.
However, something unexplainable happened when she shared this map. Suddenly, her comment section was flooded with people claiming that they too dream of this same quote-unquote mall world place. commenters began posting and sharing their own experiences inside of this quote-unquote dream realm. And oddly enough, they seem to all agree on major details or aspects of this mall. And I'm talking like weird coincidences, okay? Like this original girl shared her map, and then somebody else like saw the video and was like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe that you just drew the same map that I've been drawing. I've been like having the same reoccurring dream for years. This is girl number 2 I'm talking about now, who like saw the original video and it like triggered this in her. And she's like, oh my goodness, I've been seeing this same place in my dreams for years. I've been having the same reoccurring like dream for years. I've been going to therapy to try and like work through it because it makes me feel so like weird. And my therapist suggested mapping it out, and literally I have the same place mapped. And then she goes on to show her maps that she drew like years ago, and it's the same place, y'all. It's creepy.
Before I jumped into talking about this, I wanted to give myself a few days to make sure I could psychologically handle it, because I know I do a lot of satire on here, a lot of hee-haws. This is not a satirical post. This is 100% honest and true, and I have no words. One of the most distressing parts of my life has been my dreams and my nightmares. I have worked really hard in therapy to overcome these, and one of the ways I overcame some of these really bad nightmares were to draw out a map of this town I would frequent. The center of town was a mall, but it was also a school. As I've gotten older, you know, at first it was just like the school and the mall I could explore, and as time has gone on, this town has become more expansive. I've been able to visit more places in it. One of the staple things about it is like this infinite disgusting bathroom where it's just infinite toilets. There's no stall doors. All the stalls are disgusting, overflowing with shit and piss and tampons and blood. And it's just a surreal world, right? There's these really scary overpasses, underpasses. I would say the whole vibe of the town is quite unnerving. And the weird thing about it is like there's never anyone I know there, nor does it seem like I have any awareness of my life outside of this town or this world, right? It's just like I'm there, and I would wake up from these dreams almost every night completely exhausted. So I drew out a map. I've drawn a couple over the years. The one I drew last year was the most expansive version of this map, and normally when I draw out this map, the dreams will die down for a while. You know, last year when I started having them, there was a new theme that there was like a beach area and there was a tsunami that would come in. And you know, it seems like once a theme is in the town, it's just a recurring part of the town. So I came across a TikTok of this map. Some girl said she has recurring dreams about this town. I almost actually vomited when I saw that. I'm not exaggerating. Like this is really fucking me up. Like I'm emotionally distressed by this. Like I've got to call into my therapist about this because I'm really upset. I'm literally like, I don't know if you can see, I'm literally shaking. Okay. You know, you can see she's got this, you know, the highway and stuff. I don't have my glasses on, but somewhere in here is like the mall/school with the infinite bathrooms. You can see over here, there's like a little, there's mountains, town. There's the beach where the tsunami is. When I saw the word tsunami, I almost collapsed. You know, the town is structured identically to mine, and I'll show you what I drew. It's clearly not as good, but you can see in the corner, I don't know how well you can see it, but it says 24. So I drew this well before I saw any of this, and I have ones dating back years, right? Sidebar, my map is just focusing on the more distressing areas of town. The other map is more so what I see in my dreams. But, you know, same thing, the weird flippy-dippy highway. This was really interesting to me. There's like a warehouse down here with 2 adjacent buildings, which she also has in the same spot. You know, it goes over water, and then it goes to the crazy roads go to an airport, and it's kind of like futuristic cities. I didn't even bother with the airport area because trying to draw out this map is very kind of difficult and confusing for me, but there's the mall/school. There's parking areas. I'm not sure what this building is, but there's like a theater over this way. These mountains with abandoned houses. Like old town, there's like more town over there, and the beach with tsunami waves. I don't know what to think of this. If I had posted, the first question my mom asked me was, did you post a picture of your map first? And I said no. And I understand that people on the internet may not believe me. They may just think, I saw this and I'm copying it for a trend. Sure, that's fine, and I really don't care. At the end of the day, I know that I drew this map well before I ever knew anyone had the same really specific recurring dream.